Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm here to read tarot for you about what's going on. And so today is August 24th, 2025. So I will be reading for tomorrow, August 25th, 2025. So let's get started. I also forgot to mention that if none of this resonates with you, then move on and let's begin. So I don't know about you, but I've been feeling pretty meh, like not really feeling it lately, just kind of feeling icky, like not great. And I don't know if it could be because of like what's going on in the world, but I don't like it. And sometimes it feels like I can't do much, like I can't change anything because of how things are done or how they've always been done, or the people in power just don't want things to change. It just really, it upsets me. So I think it's important to challenge the status quo, but in maybe your own way. So that's my 2 cents for this. Yeah, okay. Fitting. So we've got the 9 of Swords. This is a really fitting card for this because it shows a swan and it has like a chain around its neck, kind of like it feels trapped in this kind of feeling of powerlessness, of like, what have I done or what is going on? Yeah, that is totally fitting card for what I was just talking about. So we'll see what happens. All right, so we've got the Knight of Wands. It's time to take action, basically. We have to stick together and really, really change things up. It's time to get things moving forward again and not backwards. I think that just, yeah, it's time to take action. Because by sitting and not doing anything or just talking about it, that's not going to help. And it couldn't, what I'm trying to say is that it could be something small. It doesn't have to be anything big. It can be something like getting up earlier in the morning, or it could be something like drinking a glass of water when you get up in the morning, getting to work maybe 10 minutes earlier than you normally do, something like that, I suppose. Yeah, so we really need to look inward. Again, this deck is unlike the Rider-Waite-Smith because it has an extra major arcana card, and this one is called the Seeker. So what's interesting is that this deck doesn't talk about like what this card is supposed to mean. So I think it's just, anything. It could mean anything, really. You really have to look inward, especially, well, with the moon symbolism here too. I think it's more about like sort of expecting the unknown and kind of welcoming it, but also being ready for it and willing to change for the better. And I think this card kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, like the seeker of truth or something, like just that phrase comes to mind, is just that. And I think that it might have something to do with this reading, but I don't know what it is yet. I think also this card, the Seeker, like it's kind of a cross between the Moon card, this is what I'm getting now, the Moon card and like, it could be an extra card, like a knowledge card that could potentially be in another deck, maybe, I don't know. Yeah. This is going to be the long game. We're going to be playing the long game because Temperance is here. Isn't she a fickle lady? Yeah. This isn't going to happen overnight. This is going to be kind of, I suppose, steps forward and then setbacks and steps forward, and it just doesn't seem to me like it's going to be something that will be easy, and it will take a while. Which was interesting because I was doing another reading and I got Temperance. So we'll see how this goes. I was thinking I should introduce my cat when I do one of these readings. If any of you are interested in meeting her, I'm sure that she would be more than happy to get on my little table here. And I would blow out my candle, of course, because I don't want my cat on fire. 2 cards this time. So the Page of Wands and the Tower. Okay. Indeed. So this will really, whatever this situation is, will really like help us begin something, like a new way of thinking about something, a new way of approaching something that maybe hasn't been done before, or a new way of sort of reevaluating the situation. And with the Tower, this couldn't be any clearer, obviously. Like, this needs to happen. Otherwise, you know, we're going to be like this lady here, falling out. So, as much as it would suck, this definitely, like, this new way of doing something, or whatever it is, needs to happen, because, you know, what's the point of trying to do something big if you can't take care of the something small, right? So that was something that I learned a while back, is if I, like, you know, if I can't make any big impact, then how am I going to make a small impact? Or maybe I have it the other way around, who knows. I think it's, how can I make a small impact if I'm so focused on the big picture? That's what it was. I get my words confused sometimes, so Yeah. Anyway, let's get back. Um, the Two of Swords. There's definitely going to be some kind of, like, conflict, I think. But I think that it's going to have some sort of, like, peaceful resolution. It seems like that because, you know, this white sort of scarf that's on the swords. Yeah. I think, yeah, it might be peaceful. Even though the tower came and was like, you know, upending and upheaval of everyone. Yeah. A Six of Swords. Um, this is good. This is really good because I love this. Well, this particular card, not necessarily this particular card, but the whole meaning of the Six of Swords in general. Because we're finally moving on. Like, finally. It's about damn time. And this is needed because, you know, obviously the tower is saying, like, you know, this has to happen. Like, how are we supposed to move on if we don't think about a new way of approaching something? And, you know, how are we going to move on if we don't break free from the chains of the nightmare? So we'll do a couple more cards. So it's funny because I was thinking about this card, the Three of Swords, just a little while ago. This is a way of moving on from trauma. It's an opportunity to kind of process what happened for us. Excuse me. It's a way of finally being healthy again and not feeling so, like, sad or heartbroken or just so down in the dumps, so to speak. So I think, you know, a lot of people think of the Three of Swords as like, like, no. But I think it's like an opportunity to move forward, and I think that could be really, really helpful. Because, you know, opportunity to move forward through the trauma, the collective trauma that everyone is going through, whatever collective trauma that is, I don't know. I mean, I have an idea, but I will not say because everyone has their own ideas of what it is. Yeah. So we are due for judgment. It's high time. This is, and it's underneath the tower card. Because if we don't do this, we're gonna be kind of alone. Like, I feel like this judgment card is more about, like, not like divine judgment, but more of a, like, a judgment of ourselves or of a sense of identity. Like, who are we? And I think this will really allow us to kind of finally move on again, like the Three of Swords, to move on, and the Six of Swords, to kind of, like, I guess, herald in a new era. I guess that's what I'm getting from this. The angel with the horn. And there is some semi-nudity, so apologies. But I think, like, this is important for all of us. We need to figure out where we stand. Not divided, because, you know, Abraham Lincoln once said, a house divided cannot stand. So I think he was right in that sense. I'll pull one more and then do a top and bottom reading, and I think that will be it. Yeah. Okay. So we have the Nine of Cups and the Moon. Funny how I was thinking of certain things in this reading and they came up. So the Moon, for example, there's a moon in the Seeker card, and there's kind of a crescent moon up here in this Two of Swords. So I think, like, this is all about, like, finding peace and embracing kind of the darker side of us, of ourselves, like our shadow selves, or of our humanity. And just kind of, like, I suppose it could be like, not embrace the darker side of humanity, but that's not what I meant to say. I think what I meant to say was to embrace the fact that we're all human and we all make mistakes. That is what I was trying to get at. And, you know, it'll be like a sense of relief. I think people will be relieved after whatever happens, because I don't know what it is, but something really has to happen, because it seems like there's a lot of unknown in this reading. It seems like a lot of people are feeling really kind of downtrodden and just kind of like helpless in a way. So I'm not exactly sure. It could be like, you know, anyone or everyone has their own issues. And yeah, so the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles, and the top is the Lovers. So here we go. So the Lovers, there's a little partial nudity. And the Queen of Pentacles. So I think, yeah, we have a choice to find value, to find meaning in what we hold dear, the closest things to our hearts, what makes us human, and to not let other people dictate who we are and what we value. Because I think that, like, once identity is taken out of the equation, then we lose all sense of self. We lose all sense of who we are. And if we just follow the status quo or just are on for the ride, then there's no point in really having anything with this. So I think that, you know, it's kind of, this is a choice for all of us. We have a means to move on. It's, you know, we're woken up. The nightmare's over. It's time to move on and herald in a new kind of beginning. The Page of Wands, I mean, Judgment, like, to kind of bring in this new kind of sense of order. Oh, and the Six of Swords, like, hell yeah. Again, this is going to be the long game because we've got Temperance. And I think, like, this is, again, it's not going to be easy. We'll be having to go through trauma, process trauma. That's never easy. And like I said, it's just, a lot of it is the unknown. The moon. Like, we really have to delve deeply into ourselves and figure out what it is and who we are. So, I hope you liked my reading. And that's all I have for now. So, let's do this. My favorite bowl. And good night, everyone.